Welcome everybody to today's video. Today we're going to take a look at ASSAULT's revisioned RVXX amp simulation. Let's check it out. Welcome again to today's video. We're going to take a look at the RVXX version 2 by ASSAULT, which has been recently released. So they used to have the RVXX version 1, which kind of looks like this over here, what we got over here. So this is the old plugin. Totally remade this in the style of their reamp suite. So a lot more appealing to the eye, in my opinion. And also it has a killer sound. Sorry for the microphone stand sounds. Just had to move this one out of the way. So what do we got over here? We got a stomp section over here consisting of 3 pedals, a gateway, a boost, and a drive. We'll talk about that later. We got the amplifier itself consisting of 2 channels, which basically this amplifier is a simulation of the Revv amplification G20 lunchbox amplifier, which is kind of making some buzz on the market. And in general, Revv amplification, if you're a little bit into gear snobbery, I would say, then you definitely have heard of them and you know that they make crushing metal amps out there. So really cool that we have this in a digital form and really sounds also good. Does it sound like the real deal? I don't know because I don't have it. In the cabinet section, we have a dual cab loader over here, which is fairly similar to what we have on the reamp. Just a few features taken out, of course, because reamp has to kind of stand on its own and has to be kind of the flagship thing. And completely newly added into the plugin is a small effects rack where we got a graphical equalizer, delay, and reverb. Highly appreciate this, especially for lead tones. We got the in and we got the output knobs over here, and here we got the settings where we can set, for example, the oversampling rate, which I will do directly and set this to 16. Moving on, or more or less moving back to the amplifier, you just heard the absolute stock sound of this plugin. And that's true. That is absolutely how it sounds when it's stock, apart from the oversampling rate, which is now set to 16, which, however, in ASSAULT's plugins does not make a huge difference from what I personally hear, but rather what I feel. So this is what it sounds like again. Really cool, already fairly decent metal tone you can get here. And there are some tools at our disposal where we can enhance this even furthermore. Let's first, however, talk about the amplifier itself. We got 2 channels, A and B. A being the high gain channel, B being more of a crunch, semi-clean. You cannot really get it to a total clean sound channel. And the A can be enhanced by the wide and aggressive mode. Wide kind of giving it a little bit more chunk, low end feeling, and aggressive changing a little bit the mid-range or the, let's say, the voicing of the amp in the lower mids, I would say. Let's first dive into the gain knob, see how much of gain we can add and take away. So here already we got enough gain than you ever could ask for, which also is kind of a cool type of gain. So it's not super muddy and flubby. It adds, you know, a little bit definition and punch to it, although the amp itself is a little bit muddy, but we got, as I said before, tools where we can get rid of that muddiness. Moving over to the bass knob. Mids. So on the master volume, you get this kind of, you know, the awe sound, which comes from the power amp saturation when that actually kicks in. So you also can play a little bit around to change the frequency response. In general, I have to personally say, I like the frequencies which have been selected for the respective knobs. It feels very organic. It's not, let's say, too off the charts over here, keeping it simple, keeping it kind of real, you know, like how the amp would, or how an amp in general would react also. Let's test out the wide mode. So a little bit low end is added, or maybe mid frequencies are being pulled out a little bit. Very hard for me to personally say. Let's move directly over to the aggressive. Oh, hang on. So also here again, aggressive gives a little bit more, oh, sorry for that. That was my, that was my jack. So the aggressive mode gives a little bit more gain, takes away a little bit the lower mids, I have the feeling. So it also does something with the voicing of the mids in general. Yeah, really cool features over here. Let's move over to the B channel. Not, let's say, spending too much time on this one. As you already can hear, kind of a way lower output. By the way, I'm using over here, this trusty guitar which I have is basically a fake Charvel, which I got from somebody, from a buddy of mine. Thank you very much. You know who you are if you're looking at this. I took off all the paint because I didn't like the fake Charvel logo over here. And I built a custom pickguard over here, which has in the bridge an SH5 from Seymour Duncan, and over here a Wilkinson humbucker, which are both splittable by this pot over here. Yeah, so this is the B channel, kind of a semi-clean channel. I'll move to the neck pickup. And also split coil. I suck when it comes to clean. I couldn't play any clean thing for the sake of my life. Yeah, but let's push back the push-pull pot. So that once you get over here, and here the master volume becomes especially apparent. You hear that increase in gain. That's the master, or that's the power I'm pushing in over there as well. Yeah, directly moving over to the stomp section, which I personally find very interesting because we got a gate, we got a boost, and we got a drive. The boost can be set into take away or give low and highs. I personally have the feeling that this is a little bit, let's say, leaned towards in the direction of the Neural DSP 14 plugins. So this kind of resembles the Zool. This resembles kind of the grind and the hex drive. Not only because of how they sound, but also, like these medieval dark art kind of drawings over here kind of resemble that as well. Same like the 14 has with all the skull paintings on it and so on. But anyhow, they sound absolutely fantastic. The gate is really cool. Let's move back to the factory default settings and select the 16 oversampling rate. So the gate, I kind of like to leave it somewhere between -80 and -70, and it's a very quick gate. Oh, moving back to the bridge pickup. Like you can hear. Turn that off. Let's see if Podfarm doesn't have any gate on the guitar track right now. So let's generate some noise. It's a very natural reacting gate pedal. I like that absolutely a lot. I really, really like it. It's among one of the best ones I can find out there. I personally love the Podfarm gate. I think that's the best one out there. This comes very close, as well as the Zool in the Neural DSP stuff. Awesome gate. I can only say the best about it. Let's go back to the amp and give it back the default gain. Now the boost setting is very much like the grind, and I personally like to put it up in this setting where it has a very spanky quality to it. You already can hear that, high mid vocal vocal approach here. Yeah, but let's say to put it over the top, I really like to put it on bridge pickup, split coiled with this setting. I kind of like it. It reminds me at least about Rabia Masad. So it has a very spanky pow, 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 like a whiplash, which you're just beating the shit out of somebody. I really like it. Sorry. Moving on to the drive, which kind of resembles, to me personally, something which is very similar to the Hex drive. It's kind of a tube screamer on steroids, or a normal generic overdrive pedal. It is not exactly like a tube screamer. Let's put the gain to this level over here. Yeah, so actually quite enough gain to kind of get a hard rockish heavy metal tone. And now let's see what the drive does to it. You get thrashy tones. So again, very cool addition that they have now, this stomp section, instead of just some generic stomp, which you can just plug in and plug out, you know, basically. Really cool. Really adds to the feel of the plugin, really makes it a little bit more classy and yeah, high value basically. Regarding value, we're gonna have some interesting info on that as well. Dual cab loader, very similar to what we have in Reamp, with some features cut out of it. So Reamp, for example, has a focus and an impact knob, which also changes the frequency response of the IR a little bit. That's not given in here, but definitely we have a fully potent dual cab loader over here where we can choose the respective impulses. So let me go back to the root folder over here. This is the root folder, which we normally would have. You can add your own root folders, or you can add your own root stuff in here, where I got my personal impulses set in there. Oh, hang on. Let's go to here, back to home. And you can choose out of a plethora of already integrated impulse responses. So that is super cool. Yeah. And that is something which cannot be taken for granted. Let's just go over here and select the Sigma 4x12 for the second cab. And let's see what it sounds like. This is the RVXX cab. Now moving the knob over here, I can blend or totally move over. By right clicking, I can enter a value. 50 represents the exact mid. Let me take a cabinet which sounds vastly different. Of course, we're going to have some phase cancellation issues on this one, but let's just go back to the RVXX. Of course, no difference because we got the same impulses. We got a low pass and a high pass over here. We can pan and we can set the level. I'll just leave everything as it is for now and move over to the FX section. Here we got a graphical equalizer, which we can, for example, use to take out the bottom end. Or kind of, let's say, create a massive mid scoop over here. Let's just over exaggerate things to show off a little bit what. Ah, that's a over exaggerated 90s death metal tone. Okay, enough of that. Over here, we got the delay and the reverb, which are very versatile. I will just kind of mix them a little bit into to give kind of a lead tone. Yeah. So really cool. You can do a lot of different things. You can change the decay, tone, pre-delay, what else not with these specific plugins. So yeah, and then we got the input and the output knobs, which are self-explanatory. I'll not dive into that one over here. And here we got the settings bar where we can set the input routing, the oversampling, the graphics to native or OpenGL, and select some presets. Now, let's move over to the presets because I think that cabinet impulse responses are basically the core of somebody's tone. And I just want to show you how the stock IRs compete with, for example, selections, or I also made something with two blended Bogren. digital impulses. So this is my settings, how I would set the amplifier with the stock IR. What I have over here now is basically a blend of the V30 ribbon microphone setting and the Engel big box cab from Celestion with the V30 also, and also the ribbon microphone. Back to the stock. Now the Bogan mix. So that's all about there is to know about the Audio Assault itself. I just personally wanted to give you kind of an insight on how this amp works, how this can work with third-party impulse responses, what it can offer, and now let's say back to the product itself and how Audio Assault is handling it. I think they are doing an absolutely amazing job with these plugins. This plugin was recently on sale, kind of as a teaser, for $7. Only $7 for the entire package, what you're seeing here. No, let's say, betrayal of things in the background, no subscription stuff going in the background or something. I think maybe you have to add to their mailing list and they kind of, let's say, spam you a little bit with some advertisements for their plugins, which, however, all are perfect. You know, I like them a lot, and I'm still in the mailing list, even though I get those emails coming in constantly. I like it, you know. It's yeah. So I think that Audio Assault did an incredible, great job on this one over here. I wish them all the best they can have with these plugins. I hope everybody kind of rips the plugins out of their hands and make them the richest people in the world. They definitely deserve it. They also shown through the second revision that they are willing to always put more efforts into their plugins, always rethink what can we do better, what can we, let's say, how do we have to adapt to the needs of the community out there. And they're also very active on all the platforms. So I raised a bug recently, a small bug with the cabinet impulses, and the next day it was fixed. So that was awesome. You know, what more can you ask for? Yeah, that said, I would personally say go grab this plugin, even if you don't get it for the sale off with $7 and it maybe costs 30 or something. I don't know. Grab it. It is absolutely worth every single penny. Apart from that, if you like this video, I would highly appreciate if you like and subscribe, and if you maybe share it out in those VST plugin communities or something. Show it your friends, whatever. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.